Hello and welcome to today's video where I will take part in week 1 of Sunder Fairy's Fairytober. So in this video I will be making fairy themed artwork based on the prompt pumpkin or leaves. As you read from the title, you know that I will be testing out some new art products that I've never tried out before. These are Aquamarkers by a company called Decotime. I actually came across these markers in my local garden centre, and I was intrigued by them because they were only $5.99 a box, which for my American audience that is just over $8. I had never actually heard of this company before, so after looking at their social medias, it seems as though they are a small European craft company, and the only place where you can actually find their products is in physical stores or from resellers on eBay, because they don't actually have a website or any kind of online shop where you can buy their products from. And honestly, this fact is so annoying because I am missing the purple set from these Aquamarkers, and I have no way to get them unless I find them in a store, so... Also, their Facebook page mainly consists of posts from people who seem excited to have found their products in stores, so it seems like this craft company does have its fans. One thing I found interesting was that each of these sets came with their own shelf piece, so the more sets that you got, the more shelf pieces you could get, and you'd create a shelf like you can see on the box. Most other marker brands don't actually do this, so £6 for 10 markers and a piece of shelf. It made me question what the quality of the markers was actually going to be like. The shelf did clip together pretty easily and seemed stable enough. It didn't seem like it was going to fall apart or anything. Then came the swatch test. Now, these markers advertised themselves as professional artist water-based markers, and I've never really used water-based markers before. You know, I've used alcohol-based ones, but never water-based. The colours were really nice and vibrant, and the brush tip was very nice and smooth to use on the paper, but the actual ink colours did not match the caps at all. Though that's an issue that most cheap markers have, is that the colours of the caps do not match the ink. Now it was time to test the water part out. So on the box it said that you could add water for a watercolour effect, and it was not giving me that. It was reminding me less of watercolour and more of my drink spilled in my school bag, so now my drawing's ruined type thing. But hey, that may just be the look that water-based markers is supposed to go for. I don't really know. I tried to get a feel for the markers and how they worked by mixing a few colours, and they did blend well together. At this point, I had enough of seeing how the markers worked and started choosing the colours that I was going to use on my fairy. Now, the idea that I had with the pumpkin and leaves prompt was kind of like a cottagecore Lolita style outfit. I wanted her to have a pumpkin beret because I had just discovered like fruit themed berets not that long ago and I almost cried over them. And since I'm doing both prompts in one, I decided to make her wings look like pumpkin leaves, as well as include leaves on her skirt. Once I had a better idea mapped out in my head, I got out the actual sketchbook and started sketching the actual thing. I decided to go for like a semi-chibi looking body, I ended up removing the little cloak thing and changing the design of the top of the dress as well. I also looked up what a pumpkin leaf looked like and changed the leaves on both the skirt and the wings. And then it was time to colour. Now, I decided to not use any water on this artwork just because it just like bled way too much, and like I said earlier, it just looked like, you know, the picture had gotten water damaged and the ink had just kind of gone everywhere. Like, I don't like the effect that was advertised with these markers. So I just used them like normal markers, and you know, I managed to blend them, though because they're water-based they are more streaky looking than alcohol-based markers. Now, I know I've been somewhat negative about these markers, but honestly, they're not terrible. Like, I can still see myself using these to colour in just like random doodles and stuff. If I was to ever find the missing purple set, then I'd most likely buy it, and I'd also be willing to try out their alcohol-based markers if I was to ever come across those as well. Of course, with them having absolutely no online store, it is kind of difficult to locate their products. So yeah, hopefully I come across some in the future. Would I recommend these markers to artists who probably don't have that much money to spend on art supplies? Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good for how much they're worth. If you divide $5.99 by 10, then each marker individually costs 59p, which is 80 cents. And if you also consider the fact that it comes with a piece of shelf, you know, something that you can literally store the markers on, it's not bad. Of course, the only issue being is that they're a bit of a niche find. So if you did want to expand your colour choice, or maybe ink has run out in your markers and you need to replace them, you may not find them. Also, it was at this point in the drawing when I realised that I was subconsciously like taking inspiration from like strawberry shortcake. I went in with a fine liner just to make it look all clean, and then used my white gel pen to add some highlights and fix anywhere where the marker had bled. And here's the fairy that I created using the pumpkin and leaves prompt. I think she turned out super cute, and I'll probably use this like semi-chibi look for all the other fairies as well. Oh, and let me know if you want me to use these markers for the other 3 fairies that I'm going to be doing this month. And if you'd like to take part in Fairytober, go check out Sonderfairy on Instagram, as they are the person who hosts Fairytober. And I think that's all for this video. Thanks for watching to the end of the video, and hope to see you again sometime.